Hey, Taoping Airlines Math Industry, and we're going to be using exponents with operators with multiplying, dividing, adding, and subtracting. There are 4 types of problems that we're going to be reviewing because we are experimenting them with exponents, like 10 to the power of 3 multiplied by 10 to the power of 2, parentheses with 10 to the power of 3 and 10 to the power of 2, 10 to the power of 3 but is reinforced by the power of 2, and 10 to the power of a negative exponent. And last but not least, 10 to the power of 5 divide that by 10 to the power of 3. So we're going to be experimenting with these 5 because they're going to be common when you do these types of problems. So let's try and solve 10 to the power of 3 multiplied by 10 to the power of 2. So if we have that on here, some people might say you're actually multiplying the 2, but there's actually a quick little shortcut. What we can try and do is have the 3 and the 2, and we're going to have to add them together to get 10 to the power of 5. If you want 10 to the power of 5 in number form, it's going to be 5 zeros. And we're going to say that is 100,000. 10 to the power of 5 in its expanded form or its number form is 100,000. This problem is actually the same thing as this blue one because even though both numbers are both in parentheses, parentheses are pretty much the same thing and they tell you to multiply, but the multiplication symbol is not there. So we can do the exact same thing. Add the 2 exponents to get 10 to the power of 5, or 100,000. So now we know how to multiply these 2 exponents with numbers in them. What we're going to be moving on is when an exponent is being powered by an exponent. When an exponent is backing up another exponent, that is saying 10 to the power of 3 is 10 multiply that by 10 again, multiply that by 10. But that number 2 is saying, whoa, 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 that is not enough. That 2 is going to want the 10 to the power of 3 to rewrite itself. Because 10 to the power of 3, this is the first time you write it, we have to write it a second time. So pretty much, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 tens. That is going to equal 10 to the power of 6. If you want a shortcut, because sometimes exponents will be too big, and you won't have enough papers or enough space to write it in expanded form, you can actually take a shortcut and say 3 multiply that by 2. That is going to equal 6. So kaboom! 10 to the power of 6. Our next thing that we're going to be reviewing is, since we understand what this is, we're going to also divide by exponents. Our example was 10 to the power of 5, divide that by 10 to the power of 3. So while dividing exponents, division and subtraction are going to be friends because they like to, this one puts them in groups and this one takes away. Just like multiplying and adding is just adding something to another object or your count, but multiplying makes adding a bit more easier and more effort to write. Like 6 multiply that by 6, that's saying 6 plus 6 plus 6 plus 6, you have to add 6 times. But instead, you can multiply 6 by 6 to get the same answer, but less writing. So if we have a 10 over 5, or 10 to the power of 5, divide that by 10 to the power of 3, we can visualize this in expanded form. So 10 times 10 times 10 times 10 times 10, that's 10 to the power of 5. But if we divide that by 10 to the power of 3, we say 10 times 10 times 10, that is what it's going to look like in expanded form. And to get our answer right here, we're going to have to cross out and cancel 10s out. And they're going to be needing buddies. So So if we cross out this one, we cross out that one. Because since they're from both lines, they're joining up together and becoming friends. The same with this, and this, and this, and this. But wait, there are 2 10s left, and there are no buddies to make friends with. These 2 10s are going to feel lonely, and that's what's going to be left over. So we're going to say 10 to the power of 2 is our answer if we divide this by that. We can do that by saying 5 minus 3 is 2, so 10 to the power of 2. The last thing we're going to be reviewing is a number with a negative exponent. So if we do that, if we have 10 to the power of negative 2, if you want that into a decimal form, you're going to get 0.01. And if you want that into a fraction form, you get 1 over 100 as a fraction. If we say 10 to the power of negative 4, if you want that on a decimal form, you get 0.0001. But if you want it into a fraction form, you get 1 over 10,000. Some people think that negative numbers and negative exponents will bring them to negative numbers, but instead, negative numbers will actually bring you to positive numbers. Well, partially positive numbers. Because it's actually not really a whole, but it's actually part to a whole. The many types of problems that we can do with negative exponents, dividing exponents, multiplying exponents, exponents backing up each other. There is a lot that we can do here. Thank you for watching Taoping Airlines Math Industry. Like and subscribe.